Tell me what you really like. Baby, I can take my time. We don't ever have to fight. Just take it step by step. I can see it in your eyes, 'cause they never tell me lies. I can feel that body shake and the heat between your legs. You've been scared of love and what it did to you. You don't have to run. I know what you've been through. Just a simple touch and it can set you free. We don't have to rush when you're alone with me. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, babe. You are not the single type. Said, baby, this the perfect time. I'm just trying to get you high. Faded off this touch. You don't need a lonely night. So baby, I can make it right. You just gotta let me try to give you what you want. You've been scared of love and what it did to you. You don't have to run. I know what you've been through. Just a simple touch and it can set you free. We don't have to rush when you're alone with me. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, babe. You got a fast car. I wanted to get to anywhere. Maybe we'll make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me and myself got nothing to prove. You got a fast car. I got things to get us out of here. Been working on the convenience.
Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to you all to Manufacturing Technology Today, whether you're joining us live here at the MTC or indeed via one of the streaming platforms, wherever you're joining us in the world. As I say, a very warm welcome to you all. My name is Neil Griffiths. I have the consummate pleasure of being your host for today's event. Before we get into the main structure of the day, I just need to mention a few points about housekeeping. Firstly, no fire alarms are planned today at all, so in the unlikely event that we do hear the alarm, please make your way via the nearest marked exit. You'll see the muster point is on the car park outside, and fire wardens will then advise us on next steps. Free Wi-Fi is available. Please simply use the MTC guest Wi-Fi, no passwords required. Washrooms can be found opposite the stairwells, both on the ground and first floors. MTC is a non-smoking and non-vaping campus. If you need to do so, please use the designated smoking areas or indeed the public footpaths. If you require any first aid, please simply speak to a member of the events team or visit the reception. And there is a multi-faith room available on the first floor mezzanine area for anyone who wishes to use that during today's event. I'd like to quickly thank our sponsors today, particularly obviously being joined by some fantastic organizations such as Dold Industries, Agility Cyber, Made Smarter, and many others. You can find them all exhibiting in the exhibition spaces throughout the entire day, indeed until 3:30 today. And we welcome you to network throughout the day, have a look at the remarkable technologies that they are showcasing. Thank you too to our media partners and to our association partners. Now let's just take a very quick look at today's agenda. It always helps to make sure you are in the right room. And as you can see then, if you want a more detailed breakdown on any of that, please feel free to visit the website or scan the QR codes on the side screen here for more detail. Now, before I introduce our first speaker this morning, as I said, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all here today. We are thrilled to host this annual event at the Manufacturing Technology Centre here in Coventry, where we gather to celebrate and explore the latest advancements in manufacturing technology. As we kick off, I want to highlight the significance of this event in the context, of course, of the current trends and very recent announcements shaping the UK manufacturing sector. In 2025, the landscape of UK manufacturing is evolving rapidly, driven by innovation, digital transformation, and collaboration. The first of those, innovation, is at the very heart of our industry. Today, we will witness groundbreaking technologies that are transforming the way we design, produce, and deliver products. From advanced robotics and automation to additive manufacturing and digital twins, these innovations are not just enhancing efficiency, but also opening new avenues for creativity and customization. Our exhibitors and presenters will showcase how these technologies are being applied across various sectors, pushing the boundaries of what is possible. Digital transformation is another critical trend. As we integrate more digital technologies into our manufacturing processes, we're seeking significant improvements in productivity, quality, and agility. The adoption of Industry 4.0 principles, including the IoT and AI, big data analytics, these are enabling manufacturers to optimize operations, predict maintenance needs, and respond swiftly to market changes. The technologies and solutions presented today will demonstrate how digital transformation is revolutionizing the manufacturing landscape. Collaboration, the third key point, well, this is key in itself to unlocking the full potential of these innovations. Manufacturing technology today provides a unique platform for you, the industry professionals, to connect, share knowledge, and forge partnerships. The power of face-to-face interactions cannot be overstated. It's through these connections that we can accelerate the adoption of new technologies, overcome challenges, and drive the growth and competitiveness of the UK's advanced manufacturing community. In recent years, the UK manufacturing sector has achieved remarkable milestones. For instance, the adoption of smart factories and digital twins has significantly boosted productivity and efficiency. And additionally, the sector has seen a surge in the use of AI and cloud technologies to enhance operational capabilities. Key players such as Rolls-Royce, BAE Systems, GKN Aerospace have been at the forefront of these advancements, driving innovation and setting new standards for the industry. So as we embark on this journey today, I encourage you to engage actively with the presentations, seminars, and exhibitions. Take this opportunity to learn from each other, exchange ideas, and explore potential collaborations. Together, we can harness the collective expertise and creativity of our community to shape the future of manufacturing. In the words of Henry Ford, coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. Henry Ford, a pioneer of modern manufacturing, understood the power of collaboration and innovation. His vision and principles continue to inspire us as we navigate the challenges and opportunities of today's manufacturing landscape. So this quote remind us of the importance then of working together to achieve our goals. In closing then, let us make the most of this day. And I look forward to the exciting discussions and innovations that will ensue. And what better way then to kick off that very event than with our first presentation today, exploring the transformative power of AI in manufacturing and referencing absolute live real-world case studies. Please welcome to the stage today MTC's Chief Technologist, Mustafa Rahman.
Good morning, everyone. It's really nice to see the big crowd here. Good to start with AI. It is a very, very hot topic today. Not today. It's been for some recent years. So I'm Mustafa Rahman. I'm the Chief Technologist for AI at MTC. So I've been with MTC over 10 years now. So started with the AI journey back in 2014. So we've been with manufacturing and AI for over a decade. So I'll be talking about the AI applications today, as well as some strategic approach to AI. So let's start with the very basic. I'm quite sure everyone knows them, but it would be really good to set the foundation, what we mean by AI. So over time, AI has been there for ages, okay? And the understanding and definition of AI is changing over time. The way more we learn and the more applications that we find, and it's getting into different domains. So in short, what we can say in a very high level, the AI is something which can mimic the human intelligence, which can learn, which can generate, which can solve problems the way humans do. So there are different categories that we know that AI got. So when we were learning, I was introduced with AI probably 25 years back when I was doing my first AI education. So AI definition was very high level, very different. But now we are exploring, we are inventing more technologies. So we can see machine learning came out, then we have got deep learning, now we have got generative AI. So machine learning is something that can learn from the data, but you need to tell them that how to learn, means what to look at. But when it comes to deep learning, probably it's a little bit more helpful, that you don't really need to identify or tell AI that what to look at to learn things. So which can do by itself is kind of mimicking the human brain, but it requires a huge amount of data. Now we have got generative AI. We all are familiar. I believe everyone used ChatGPT, which is kind of one of the applications of generative AI, which can generate new content. Okay, can respond to the user queries. Okay, so there are quite a lot of different things that we can do, and it has been trained with vast amount of data, which we also known as a foundation model. The impact of AI is really huge, and we started realizing them, and especially for manufacturing. I will come back to that later, but it's been really researched and predicted that the impact that AI can bring for manufacturing in next decade is huge. Over 2.8 trillion they are predicting that it can contribute to manufacturing, and especially on waste minimization, reduction of logistics cost, and also the main important thing, that how we can increase our productivity. So some of the applications that we have seen so far, which can be found in manufacturing, people are trialing them, people are prototyping them, and mostly we can really separate them into two different categories. One is that augmenting human intelligence, how we can support. We never intend to really get rid of a human from the loop. Human will be there, but how we can enhance human intelligence, the way we work, how we can support human, which we call augmentation. So mostly is that the visibility, the data that we have got, the huge amount of the data that we have got, how we can interpret them, how we can get some insight out of it, and can help us on our decision making. How we can predict, how we can forecast the future, how we can know what is happening, what happened, and what might happen. And yes, if they happen, what we should be doing. So all this kind of decision aiding, that we can say that augmentation. Another category that we can see potentially on the automation side, which has got a huge benefit, but need more work, more experiment, more validation of those things. So how you can automate the inspection systems, how you can automate the quality control, how we can automate the way probably we do currently visual inspection and oversight. So, and how we can potentially use digital twin type of technology, directly connecting the physical system with the digital system and making this loop fully connected. So those are the things, and they can be applied in different part of the manufacturing, starting from our production systems, logistics, fault detection, process optimization, and even our health and safety. So now some of the application that you can see here, we've been demonstrating for a long time, that especially that how we can make our predictive maintenance system more smart, how we can help with the quality control, how we can help with the vision application to detect defects automatically, which sometimes human can miss, and also how we can secure our production environment and shop floor with lots of AI and vision system to help us or enforce us to keep within the health and safety compliances. So there are quite a lot of different applications that we can find where we can see huge potential of AI. And now going back to the same diagram about AI. And as I said earlier, that AI is in the talk a lot because of this ChatGPT, generative AI, which made AI more accessible to everyone. Everyone can use it. So let's talk about what it can bring to manufacturing. What are potentials of generative AI, which we already know that it can generate content, it can read lots of data, can give insight, which might take ages, or sometimes it's impossible for a human to really digest all those data. So the generative AI, ChatGPT, is not just only to write content. There are lots of capabilities that we have got that we can leverage, and we are innovating new ideas with generative AI. That what we can do. Think about different applications or process stage of within manufacturing. So what we do plan a lot. We design things. We have got supply chain. We have got maintenance systems. Everywhere we've been generating lots of data. But one of the biggest challenges that we had in manufacturing is the data. Why we were not being able to use AI easily with manufacturing, because the type of the data, the variety of the data, and different format, different standards that we have got, most of them are really text. Okay, we generate lots of inspection report, all the plans, everything is text. It's really hard, even though they are digitalized, means that it's been saved in a Word format, PDF format, kind of digital, but still someone needs to really read 100 pages of report to understand. So now there are potentials now. We have got opportunities to think that how large language model can help us with their capability to help us with creating the product concept, help us to understand the customer feedback, help us to take the data from each and every part of the manufacturing process chain and bring all together and tell us how I should be designing my product, how I should be planning my production. Okay, it's some aid, some assistant that can help us to go to all trillions of data sets that we have got in textual format. It might be even structured data sets, but it can merge, it can take all together and read them and understand it with its basic capability, which is just language. It can read and understand and interpret. That's the basic capability. But think how we can leverage that basic capability and take it to some big directions. We can use even a generative AI to instruct the AI that I would like to design this and that. Could you please quickly prototype a design for me? And it can do it for you. So we can see lots of different opportunities with generative AI. So what we've been doing within MTC recently, as you know, that this large language model just become accessible to public recently, 2-3 years now. So what we have successfully demonstrated and prototyped different applications with large language model. It's not necessarily ChatGPT only. There are different ways that you can use the large language model. What we were thinking that, okay, how we can understand what's going on within the whole manufacturing process chain, starting from requirement capture to our design, then production planning, then the production itself, then the quality inspection results, then the customer feedback. So what we've been doing, how we can really learn. And everything nowadays is within our head, to be honest. If I am working for MTC for 10 years, I have built my knowledge and everything is saved here. If I need to retire tomorrow, the knowledge might go with me, okay? But most of the things probably are somewhere within my drive and everywhere, but someone needs to really learn. So how we can use generative AI to really digest all the information together and extract knowledge. Another thing is that we know that we have got a dashboard we've been using for a long time, right? Where we have got visualization and different charts and analytics, but they are fixed. We don't really have the leverage to really do or see different things that we would like to do. But what if we could just simply talk to our data? Nowadays we can't, but nowadays means that with our current software system, we can't really talk to our data. We can just see the visualization that I have been, or my colleague, they have been created for me. But what if we could just simply talk to our data? What happened? Why did it happen? So if we could use generative AI not only with the unstructured data like text and other things, we could also plug that one to our structured SQL server and can start talking to our data. So this is what we have experimented, and it really, we found it useful. We are using generative AI to support writing codes for robotic programming and different other programs that we have got within manufacturing, and to see how we can really reduce the time of our engineer to write the codes using generative AI. Then we recently have done fantastic demonstrator. Hopefully in future I'll be able to show the video of it. It's under review at the moment. So what we have done, we have used large language model to just simply tell what design I want, the manufacturing design, and it can design for me in parametric format, not like, cartoon and other things that we can see in another demonstration. It can really design the manufacturing parts, and I can take that design CAD file and go and manufacture it. So it saved a lot of time. So as I said that recently, this is a huge, big spike on AI use, but mostly you will find these statistics are really biased towards the generative AI, the ChatGPT, not really all different capabilities of AI. But if you look at this, you'll find, even though it's a huge spike, but the manufacturing itself is really low. Okay? The adoption for AI within manufacturing is low because we love things that the way we love, you know what I mean? So we are used to the way we have been doing for decades. We are happy, subtle, and been validated. So there are lots of things that we really need to ensure before adopting any technology within manufacturing. So it means that there are some challenges of adopting AI within manufacturing in the real production environment. I'm not talking about the very high-tech, top tier of the informatics or data, which is the ERP system, your finance data and operation data. Most value are in the shop floor, okay? So if you would like to take the AI down to the shop floor, there are lots of consideration that we need to make. So there are some blockers and challenges that we have got. So some of the challenges that we found, as we said earlier, the manufacturing is the biggest sector which generates most of the data in the world, but they are not really using their data a lot within their manufacturing process because of lots of different barriers which we are overcoming. Okay, it's really improving slowly. So one of them is that we the data in different format, different template. We love to invent new standards within manufacturing. If we struggle with one, we create another one. So this is a common problem. Then we have got our regulatory compliances. We have got a skills shortage within manufacturing, and also the final one that, to be honest, that is the key that we found is the trust. How you can ensure that you can trust the AI system. If it goes wrong, who to bend to? So we need to find really someone who can be responsible. Means that you need to really ensure that AI system is reliable, is trustworthy. And there are lots of supports from different, other sectors, means like, from regulatory compliance. They are very high level. I'll come back to that one later. So what I was saying that one of the biggest barrier that we found, which is the trust. And that is reflecting here. The recent statistics from BSI, that adoption within UK, because we love to follow the process. We love to ensure the quality. We love to ensure that things are trusted and the quality. So we really need to find out a way of how we can validate the AI system to make sure that we can trust it before we adopt it. We've been trying a lot. Most of them are in the demonstration. But when it comes to real adoption, we need to really do a little bit further to help us. So as I said earlier, that there are lots of support. There are from the regulatory side. We have got standards. We have got a regulation. We know that EU AI Act is there. UK has got their own AI principle. Then we have got BSI they are supporting with the standard. But most of them are really very high level. They're dictating what to do. But when it comes to really adopt them, you need to really find a little bit more details how to do them, how you can, validate your system. They are asking us to come up with this, that you have checked the system, it does this. But how? How bit is missing? Means that you need to have something top of that, which is called frameworks, which is called a third-party service who can help you checking your homework. So at MTC, we started providing a new service called AI testing and validation to mitigate that the top bit, that we are taking all these policy standards and framework. We have created one framework. You can find this one on our website. We have published that one, MTC white paper. If you search, you will find the framework. And we created this AI testing and validation facility to help testing and validating AI system for third party. So very quickly, let's move into now strategy. We know there are lots of applications, lots of potential, lots of use cases, but it definitely needs a strategic move. Where we can start? Do we really need to jump into the automation? Or do we really need to think investing millions to get the benefit out of AI? Probably not. Every little step can help us generating some value. And we need to start. That's my main point, is that we need to start. And we can start at very little. Start generating the data. Just look at what happened, what we've been doing, why we've been doing, why they happen in past, start applying then a little bit of analytic stuff of it. You don't need to have AI there to get the value out of the data. AI can come a little bit further, but still you are generating value, okay, from your data. So you start looking at interpreting the data, start looking at what really happened, why they happened, try to find out the answer for it, and then go for a little bit further, okay, what might happen, which is kind of prediction. Okay, what I should be doing if they happen. That kind of a recommended system. So you don't really need to go here the day one. But in order to go there, you have to start from here. So every time we think that, oh, I need to do something, but we are thinking to go there the day one, and then we struggle. So start from the bottom and see where we are. Evaluate ourselves from this picture, within this picture, where we are at the moment. What exactly we are doing, what we are capable of doing. And then go further. So there are key considerations. AI is brilliant, we know. There are lots of use cases, lots of potentials, lots of benefits of using AI. But as I said, that the key for AI is the strategy. If our strategy is wrong, complete investment will be wrong. We'll be investing complete in wrong direction. And at some point, we will give up. And we say, no, it's not something, this is for me. It's not our piece of cake. It's really hard. It doesn't really work. It doesn't give any return of investment. So the main thing is that these are the key points that I try to find out, that what we should be doing, what should we be looking at before stepping into our AI journey. The key is that how it aligns with our strategy, business objective. AI might not be anything for me, but I need to really know whether it really means anything for my strategy, how it aligns. How well I am prepared for the AI. As we know, the data is the key, right? Without data, there isn't any value of AI. So are we ready? Is our data ready? Where we are in terms of our data readiness? That is something that we need to understand before, again, adopting AI. Then do we have the right infrastructure? All of our data been classified? Are we not sending confidential data out of our organization to somewhere to our friends to learn from our data? Do we have everything set up? It's not only I have got a hard disk of data center where I can store the data, but do we have the right data governance infrastructure as well, the security infrastructure as well? What sort of money that I have got? What sort of money I should be investing for next 2 to 5 years' time? And what sort of return of investment I can get? How I can prioritize the use cases? Going back to my previous slide, that whether I should be getting more benefit, the very bottom, analyzing my data only before going to the automation. So that return of investment, the business case, is really important to understand. And then think about that whether you have got the right capability, right team, because it's not like something you will buy a big car and you don't know how to drive. You don't have a thought of maintaining that one. You don't have right resource, so you will be struggling. So you need to think that everything is linked to each other. So where we need to have people within your organization to govern AI, to develop AI, to maintain AI. Okay, so those are the things that you need to think. Then also the ethical consideration as well. Are we not creating threats? Okay, for our colleagues, is what the impact, ethical impact it might have. So you need to analyze everything. You have to have answer for all this question. The key bit is very, very important, where most of the AI project fails. How well it can integrate with my existing system. I don't really want something completely alien. Okay, an AI is a box somewhere sitting somewhere there. No one will use it. Okay, unless it integrates with our existing system. So you need to really understand where you are, what sort of things that you are using, what kind of software platform that we have got, and how this new AI can integrate with them. If it can't, then there will be huge concerns in future. You'll not be able to leverage the best out of that AI application that we have already seen that, okay, or decided that we will go for. Then regulatory compliances, which is another one. EU AI Act is there. I know that EU is EU, UK is UK, but most of the products that we develop, they are digital. So our market is not only UK, right? So we will be selling our product out of UK. We need to comply with UK, if it is a European Union, EU AI Act, US, they have got their own act. You need to really understand how well it complies with that as well. Then scalability, you will start with small, then it needs to grow. How you can maintain them, how scalable it is, okay? Whether in future you might need more data centers or more redundant model infrastructure. So those are the things that you need to really think. And finally, the risk, which is another key element. What are the risks of taking and adopting AI that I might have? You should have the risks understood. You should have a mitigation for them. At least my point is that you know what you are doing before just going and start playing with the AI. Another model that you can think that, as I said earlier, that you need to have everything in place, but not always that we can afford building all those capabilities in-house. So you need to think about build versus buy versus partnership modeling. That, okay, do I really need to develop everything? By the way, it's not my diagram. There is a reference to that. You can go directly to the reference and read detail. But the main point, I really like this approach, is that think about, evaluate, once you have evaluated yourself, think about it, that whether you have got the right capability or you would like to develop that capability. Developing is not the end. You need to retain that, you need to maintain that, you need to grow that. So in that case, you need to think, analyze that whether you should be doing by yourself or you should be partnering with someone to help you with your AI journey. So at MTC, we've been helping manufacturing industry with their AI journey since 2014, when we started this AI team more than 10 years back. So what we've been doing, we are helping manufacturing industry on with their AI journeys, especially with AI scoping service, which is AI strategy, and other bit. We then take that one and help developing the prototype, understand it, its applications and potentials, and demonstrate, in short, de-risking the technology before you can adopt and take it to the production. Then we, as I said earlier, that we recently have launched a new service called AI testing and validation. So we have got our framework, how we will be testing. I'm actively member of BSI standard committee helping defining the standards for UK. Also, we are a collaboration with other certification agency to certify our methodology so that we can accredit or validate the AI application that you might already have got or your partners they have got which you would like to adopt. So if you need any support, we are here. Thank you.
Mustafa, so thank you very much indeed. Sorry, were you going to do the introductions? I apologise. Have I just gate-crashed your party?
Sorry.
Have I just gate-crashed your party?
No,
you wouldn't. That's fine. Well, thank you very much indeed. Obviously, we've got one more presentation, after which we will be moving to a comfort break, where you'll have 40 minutes, in fact, to network and engage with our speakers, presenters, and exhibitors here today. Before that, though, cyber attacks are increasingly common and, of course, having a greater impact on business. Protecting your business from the effects and impacts of this whilst meeting your customer security assurance requirements is paramount. Outlining how to leverage cybersecurity to give your business a competitive advantage, please welcome the Director of Agility Cyber, Jonathan Sword.
Right, hello everyone. Flashy title page, which is nice. So this is me. So I'll try and keep this quite short and sweet. So I'm a director of Agility Cyber. We do penetration testing, general cybersecurity consultancy. So if your business wanted to understand its risk posture, find out where threat actors are going to try and exploit things, and then get ahead of the curve and try and fix it before you have operational impacts. And we're kind of the people to speak to. I have a lot of experience in this industry. Been 15 years. So I have a kind of nice history with CREST. So CREST stands for the Council of Registered Ethical Security Testers. It's kind of the gold standard in the UK for testers. So I was an assessor for that for, I think, 4 and a bit years, which is quite nice because that means I set the standard for the UK. So if you've ever met a pen tester in the UK and mentioned my name, you can watch their face drop because they used to do my exam. And it used to be quite difficult for them. We had a pass rate of 15%. So it was quite a high bar to meet. So if you do have a penetration tester, please do make sure that they are CREST registered. It's a worthwhile exam to take. In terms of the experience as well, so we do actually specialise in manufacturing quite heavily. So in fact, to give you an example, November last year, we were doing a prosthetic limb. So actually somebody came to us, an organisation, a very large organisation, came to us and said, we want to understand the risk of a connected device. And we thought they were going to supply a laptop or a general IT device. They popped a prosthetic leg on the table, which was an interesting discussion to have. It actually talked to things about Bluetooth. There's quite a lot of attacks that we managed to leverage on that and really help that customer. So there's a lot of information we have in that space in terms of manufacturing, supply chain management, and making sure you get ahead of the curve in that space. So in terms of the main agenda today, we're going to go through and try and understand a bit about what threat actor means. I have a personal hatred of when people use buzzwords. So if you do catch any in the presentation, please do harass me afterwards for them, or just throw things, or you can ask questions at the end and I'll clarify them. I want to make sure that we make this simple and approachable, because one of the things that I found with cybersecurity is that everyone gives you a pitch, right? Because cybersecurity costs a lot of money, it's very difficult to do, it's all this really complex situation, right? We've got nation states, we've got people attacking businesses, a lot of panic, a lot of confusion. So I want to clarify that and make it actually easy and approachable, because it is behind the scenes, behind all the smoke and mirrors and all the confusion, it actually is really simple. And a few basic techniques you can put in place now would stand you in far better stead going forwards. And they're also free, right? So this isn't a sales pitch for a start. We're trying to make sure that we get education out there, because being quite crude, the more we educate you, the less work we actually have to do. And we're kind of snowed under with work. It's quite a booming industry and there's not enough people in it. So it's kind of good to actually educate and help and get people to understand a bit. And the other part of it is it's quite an emotionally loaded topic, right? So we talk about vulnerabilities, we talk about exploits, we talk about bad actors trying to get into your operations and affect your business, ransomware, all these negative consequences of things. What we don't touch on, and what is really not understood, is the benefits of doing this right. So it's really obvious to say that things can be secure and hardened and resilient and still there where you left them. But there's actually a lot of things you can do to give your business a real commercial advantage in the marketplace by leveraging cybersecurity. It's not a talked about subject very often. It's something that we try and help with our customers because it helps them understand there's a journey to go on and why the journey is worthwhile. So a bit about threat actors. So there's a list on the screen there. Generally, threat actors is a really broad term. It can mean a lot of things for a lot of different people. We can go right up to nation states. We can go right down to just a really annoyed employee on a Friday at 5:30 who's made to work late. They can do malicious stuff, sometimes by accident, without skill. But generally, there's a lot of different motivations. So when you're thinking about what can happen to your business, try and work through and understand exactly the different types of attacks you're going to be thinking of. It's very different to someone on the shop floor going and smacking the power off button on all your production line to someone who's maybe backdooring your payment system and extracting payroll data and selling it on the dark web. So there's a couple of different ways of working on that. The other thing I wanted to touch on in this space as well is that often we get the comment of, we're only a small business, so we're not going to be attacked, right? Because you only get kind of Centrica, BP, massive companies attacked, right? That's not strictly true, because what happens is they're the ones who publicise it. There's an awful lot of compromises that happen that aren't publicised. There's an awful lot of incident response that we help customers with, so we also do that in terms of engagements. So if someone does have a breach, they normally phone us and say, actually, do you know what? We've not had a pen test from you before, but can you give us some advice? And we go in and help them and understand what's happened. But the thing that always surprises our customers and people that we talk to is that they're actually a target anyway. Because a lot of the time, it's not a human operating this. It's actually a business behind the scenes. So one of the things that we found is that threat actors work on different objectives. Some of them go out and say, I want to attack that business. You're big enough, you're a noteworthy target, you have a lot of money in the bank, or you have access to suppliers, or you are a supply chain, a key part of the supply chain to a person they want to get into in terms of exploit. So you might be a small manufacturer, you might be just doing nuts and bolts, which is one of our customers. They actually supplied nuts and bolts to a different area, which supplied access to the defence. So although they're only a nuts and bolts manufacturer with very limited IT, they were really under constant attack from foreign nation states, because it's a quick way of getting into that supply chain to then end up in military defence. So you've gone from being a nuts and bolts person to actually now undermining what's going to happen on a new tactical aircraft. Because the supply chain, they had to have a remote access terminal, which meant they connected into the military defence. Obviously, if you've got access to that, you then pivot around and can do lots of bad actions and steal intellectual property, steal maybe aircraft plans, etc. So there's things like that to bear in mind. The other part of it is it's not always a human driving these tool sets. So a lot of attacks out there are just malware. They're automated, they're robotic. The previous presentation touched on AI. There is a pen tester AI made. You literally can query it and say, what do I do next for an attack? And it will give you the command to type out. It's very basic, but it's what some threat actors do. It'll also write you tools and scripts just to go and scan the internet and find a weakness. So although you might have only a few open ports, if they are open and vulnerable, at some point, some robotic tool is going to go and find those and automatically exploit it. Threat actors work in an interesting way. Your business is structured in different departments. So you have an operational team, you have a marketing team, you have payroll, admin, managing directors, if you're fortunate enough to own your own business. Attackers are the same. So attackers also have 3 tiers. So they don't often do things in a short window like we think. We think, conventionally, somebody puts the hoodie up, they sit on a laptop, they go and do some bad actions on the internet, and they ransomware you and steal some money. That doesn't happen in reality. It might happen on the 13-year-old kids that make the news, but in most of the common places, they operate as a business because it's really good money for attackers. So they actually have different levels of support. So you have an initial team, so there's 3 tiers typically. The initial team gets access. Their entire job, that whole team and department, is to go around the internet and get access to systems. They don't care who you are. They don't care if you're a target, big, small, little. They just want access. Get that foothold. That foothold is then logged, transferred or sold on to a third party. It's the second team. Second team come on. Their whole objective is to maintain persistence. So you can't lose access to that environment. That is their sole purpose. They're trained in that way. So that's the way they work, operationally safe, so they don't get caught. The first team often get caught. Second team tend not to get caught because they want persistence. That then is sat on for 2 to 3 months, up to 9 months typically. So that's your time range. So you might not see anything, so you may already be breached. About 9 months later on, that then gets sold on or uplifted to the third team, third department in that attacking group business. They're the ones who actually exploit you. They're the ones who know what to do. They're the ones who know how to ransomware you. They're the ones who have the access to the SWIFT banking system to move money around quickly, normally through Russia and etc. like that. So there's different teams and they work as a business. Fun fact is they have the same challenges that you have in your business. They have skill shortages, they have resourcing issues, they have operational security issues. All these things you can learn from and understand that actually you're quite on a level playing field. It's not as uneven as people originally think. So it's just a good point to know that it's really not kind of a personal thing just out to get you. Sometimes it really is just as simple as plain old business. And then the techniques they use. So we think about this and people get phishing emails. That's a good example. Phishing emails are really common, but also because they're common, they're well defended against. So how else do threat actors come into your environments? So they scan your suppliers to look in. So the nuts and bolts example I gave earlier. They scan your websites to look for any flaws in that configuration-wise. They find out your subscriptions. So we do this as part of our scoping engagement. So if you phone us up and say, I want a pen test, we very quickly do some open source intelligence to find out what your estate looks like. Where are you hosted? Are you with Fasthost? Are you with AWS? Are you with Azure? What's your Azure tenancy look like? Big, small, little, large? I can do this without any credentials, without any knowledge. I just need a domain name to start with, which is your email address. So there's a lot of information you can gather there from size, complexity, where your systems sit, all your DNS, so all your domain names that you use. So a lot of people use like test dot and then their main company site. That gives you access to some typically test content that isn't that well secured. So you start mapping things out, which is what most threat actors do. And then there's also, in terms of what a threat actor does in terms of trying to exploit your business, but there's also the threat actors that we often forget about. So that's your competitors, which is a really interesting point. So I did a device review and a teardown for a customer of ours, which wasn't their device. They bought it from their competitor. They literally bought a competitor device, put it in their office and said, we have legal rights to now own that device. That's bought, paid for. The EULA, so they signed the agreement to actually use a device, said they were free to disassemble it and do whatever they wanted with it. They then paid us to come in and reverse engineer it. So we did a whole product teardown on that device, found the vulnerabilities in it, found where the codes were, reverse engineered the code to show them the intellectual property, and enabled them to understand and learn from their competitors. And that's quite a common thing. But threat actors do that too. Threat actors will buy your products to work out what you've shipped to them, to work out how it works, to get back into it. So it typically is IoT devices. They get sold, people buy them, they reverse engineer them and work out a way of getting back into the company who sold them. So there's different ways of that attack working. And in terms of the business impacts, what happens if this does happen to you? What happens if it goes wrong? So there's quite a few. Obviously, I just touched on the loss of intellectual property. But there's also the fact you can actually lose your business, like full stop. It's not just a financial thing. You cannot recover from some of these parts. Some of them literally will fold businesses because you won't meet your supply chain requirements. You'll have the wrong logistics in the wrong place. You'll miss payroll. And then because your payroll system's been ransomwared, then you get fined by HMRC, or you get put into a breach situation where you get a GDPR breach for personal data walking out the door. Those are 10% of your global revenue. That's not profit, that's revenue. So when you get a large company that gets fined on global revenue at 10%, you often find that if their margins are very small, some manufacturers, you find that the fine is more than the profit and the assets they have. They have to fold and liquidate or go and find a bank loan. That is a really challenging place to be, just because you're getting a fine from a GDPR leak, which is someone's personal data. And also your reputation, right? We all know business is about reputation, about people. If you lose that, it's incredibly hard to get that back. So there's a lot of negative impacts for this. So in terms of how do you actually mitigate the risk? So what can you do in terms of trying to uplift your own security very quickly? The first one is to try and engage the other part of your brain. So humans are all wired naturally to think of a happy path. Right? We like to be optimistic. We all like to set out to come here this morning on time. Some of us endured the A46. That was not a fun experience because that was traffic for an hour on a 10-mile journey. So that was optimistic. It's a bypass. I'm going to get here on time. You'll notice we turned up at 9:10. So we didn't get here on time because we were optimistic and failed because of the traffic. So we have to think in a different part of our brains, which is like a threat actor. So what can go wrong? What's the impacts of this? Similar to the presentation about AI, what happens if AI goes wrong? Similar scenario to this, but this is your organization's security posture. What happens if that staffing system goes down? What happens if the payroll system gets corrupted or ransomware? What happens if your supplier portal goes down? Or you lose the data? And then work out exactly what's important to your business. So you should have a crown jewels in different buckets. So you know that your payroll, paying staff is really important, paying suppliers is really important, producing stuff and logistically shipping out the door, really important. Most of the stuff, if your marketing goes wrong, and that's really annoying, but it's not going to really harm your business that much. And then work out what the chains are in terms of how things are attacking you. Understand that you don't actually have to do all the fixes in one go. Work out what the chain of attack is. So someone might say, you're vulnerable to a phishing attack, you come in, then you escalate up to admin rights, I've got access to your whole computing estate, then I steal your data. Okay, that's great. Phishing is going to be hard to sort, right? You need technical controls, you need training. This is a 2-month endeavor, right? That's painful. Or you could just work out how to stop the people in the middle. So let them come in, but just make sure your defense in the middle stop them. That's a temporary fix, right? That works, that's more efficient, less training, less problems. Technical controls you can validate, quickly put in. This is now a half-day task that you can then validate independently. Stops the attack chain. Doesn't solve the problem, but stops it working for a threat actor, which is the main point. And then also working out that what you can do with this is pivot it. So instead of trying to stop all the bad stuff happen, use it as something to benefit you. A lot of new businesses now are starting to talk about cybersecurity in their marketing. You'll see we've got Cyber Essentials labelled on the banners because people know we're Cyber Essentials, so we've gone for an independent test, everything else. You can use the same stuff, right? If you go and get a pen test, we do a service called an attestation, which allows our customers to give a one-page PDF out to their suppliers and their customers to say, hey, I'm a mature organisation. I understand cybersecurity is important to you, and I've gone and got an independent pen test, a penetration test, and here's the overview of what they found, which is a single A4-page document. And it's really good because it stops all the procurement questions that you get. Are you ISO 27001? Do you have MFA enabled? Do you patch? Do you have antivirus? All this other stuff goes away because you just go, there you go, I've got my A4 sheet of paper. So it actually stops a lot of your admin costs on procurement, helps you win more tenders, and actually is really good to have and stops the stuff going wrong at the same time. So it's kind of a good thing to do. And then in terms of the technical part of this, so what can you do now? There's a lot of stuff in front of you as a work package to do. What can you do right here and now to stop an attack coming in? They're all really simple, right? This is not new. This is not going to change either, to be honest, because this is how most of the attacks are going to work and come in. So the thing of how you prioritize stuff is biggest bang for buck. You do it in business, you get the best value you can in things. So why don't you do it in IT? We don't tend to do that. We get sidetracked in the really technical complex, make it a bit more complex again, and then we turn around and go, do you know what, that needs more complexity. Let's get a third party in to help us. I think you pay more money. In reality, keep it simple, right? Look at what impacts you most. So core tenancy business, being able to pay people, pay suppliers, understand what IT you actually require, or your devices that you're shipping out the door and how to protect them. Prioritize the fixes inside those that actually give you the highest output for minimal input. Stuff like changing how people can escalate privileges on like a Windows server or Windows desktop is group policy changes. It is literally clicking 2 buttons in Active Directory. We can help you with that and show you where to click. Stuff like patching is really quick and easy. Keeping your stuff up to date, turning on auto updates, as stupid as that sounds, really helps because it stops your IT team having to go around and go, have you patched that today? Patch that on Tuesday. Like your software code, where do you store your software code? Moving your code from on-premise and a file share, where it's text files, to like GitHub or an internal Git repository and making sure that you're deploying stuff sensibly and securely is really simple. It's just shifting it across to a different system, but it actually helps an awful lot because now you have a central place where you've got auditing, you've got controls, you've got logins, and where previously it may not have always had that. And other things, so it will go wrong and your business will be impacted at some point no matter what you do. So backups. And when I say backups, I don't mean take like a monthly grandfathered backup where you take a backup and then a backup as a backup. That sounds great. Your business is a business, so when it goes wrong, you want to restore very, very quickly. You don't want to have a situation where you need to go, that's in the offsite backup in a data center in Wales. Can someone drive and get the hard disk? That's not okay for a business. You've just lost like a day of being functional as a business. So having forethought in front to do that and actually test your procedure works. The amount of people who go to restore the backups then find it's never actually written a backup because they forgot to give it permissions is scary. These are simple things you can do. And then the other part of this is leveraging the security of business like I touched on earlier. So making sure that you ease your procurement challenges, you advertise security, you advertise your approach. There is no security to be gained by being like covert and obscure about things. You'll notice that National Cybersecurity Centre, who we advise and help, that as a group of individuals are very, very public about what they're doing. There's a reason for that because that's how security should work. They're trying to demonstrate to the public market that actually hiding stuff is a bad approach. And being open and honest about saying, this is our security offering, gives customers and suppliers and your partners a lot more confidence in what you're doing. And again, being able to remain operational is the main part of it. And using some of these techniques to learn about your competitors. So when we do open source intelligence, we know a lot about an organization before we even respond to the email. We know the maturity level. We know what systems they've got in place. We know where their code is typically. If it's Azure DevOps in GitHub, we can start looking at some of that to gauge their maturity. We see the products they're selling. A lot of information. You can also do that yourself to learn more about your competitors. So you get that knowledge and how to refine your own business and process to work better. And if I've timed this right to the line, but there is space for some questions, I've got 4 seconds. that was a hasty presentation. We are on the stand opposite. It's the one with Krispy Kreme donuts that's still there. So don't panic. There are Krispy Kreme donuts available. So there are some questions. You can feel free to ask them over there, or hit us up on the website, email, or LinkedIn for me personally if you want a one-to-one chat. And that is 20 seconds over. So apologies. There you go.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. I have to tell you, when it comes to time management, that was first class. Lovely. Well, look at that. We've had 2 very insightful presentations so far, and of course, plenty more to come at Manufacturing Technology today. For now, though, we are taking a break, so please do visit the various exhibition stands out there, take the opportunity to network, and of course, explore the potential for collaboration. Thank you very much for your attention so far. We'll see you back here in 40 minutes.
Would you close the door and don't forget what I told you? Just 'cause you're right, that don't mean I'm wrong. Another shoulder to cry at. I just wanna use your love tonight. Yeah, I don't wanna lose your love tonight. I Now here you go again. You say you want to freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you're feeling. But listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad. In the stillness of remembering what you had. More and more, you're kissing like a half open door. I can't get in. Stop me just before I begin. And it hurts to be in love when you never get enough. Oh, it hurts to be in love. Similar surge keeps my body right on the verge. You touch and then I wanna do it over again. And it hurts to be in love when you want me half as much. Oh, it hurts to be in love. I'm always worried. You think I'm pushing too hard. Oh, baby, it hurts me when it's allowing too far. Day and day. Touch and then. Wanna do it over again. And it hurts to be in love when you want me half as much. Oh, it hurts to be in love. You only want me half as much. Oh, oh, baby, it hurts. Baby, it hurts.
Move yourself. You always lived your life, never thinking of the future. Prove yourself. You are the move you make. Take your chances, win or loser. See yourself.
Yes, you're a good girl and you know it. I know exactly who you could be. Just hold on. Just hold on. It's hard to do this in too long. Just hold on. I got my eyes on you. You're everything I see. I want you all love and emotion. Endlessly, I can't get over you. You left your mark on me. I want your love and emotion. Endlessly, 'cause you're a good girl and you know it. You act so different around me. Yes, you're a good girl and you know it. I know exactly who you could be. Just hold on. Just hold on. It's hard to do this in too long. Just hold on. Just hold on. Just hold on. It's hard to do this in too long. Just hold on.
just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm the lonely night. I love you, baby, trust in me when I say. Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm the lonely night. I love you, baby, trust in me when I say. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm the lonely night. I love you, baby, trust in me when I say.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you did enjoy the break. And indeed, if you are rejoining us on a virtual platform, welcome to you too. We're just a couple of minutes late restarting simply because of the number and power of conversations that were actually taking place outside in the exhibition zone. So thank you if you're involved in those. And of course, plenty more opportunity to engage with your colleagues, with everyone else here in the audience, and indeed with all of the exhibitors until 3:30 today. Ahead of that, of course, we have some more very insightful presentations, two of which are coming up in just a couple of moments' time. Next up then, we are going to be moving from cybersecurity to physical and wireless security of operational machinery and production systems. Here to tell us about it, please welcome to the stage the Managing Director of Dold Industries, Ian Holland.
So I'm Ian Holland. This is me in 2009. As you can see, life hasn't been good to me, especially on the grey bits at the top. Although it was taken in the south of France. So when the guys asked me for a portrait photo, I'm going to take the opportunity to go back to Nice to get a current one. Everything else has got a mask on or stupid smiley faces, and particularly not very suitable for today's presentation. So I'm going to start off with about STS. Now, these slides, although they'll be available in recording afterwards, are pretty much for my notes. So I like to get a bit of audience participation going. So show of hands, who has day-to-day activity exposure with manufacturing or production lines? Fantastic. That's the first part of the interaction. You put your hand up. I know where you are. So in that environment, we have safety, which I'm sure you all know about, HSE, risk assessments. What do you get when you put in Google, how do I make my production line and members of staff safe? So this is the verbatim AI response to what can you do? Physical guarding is right at the top, because in the immortal words of Forrest Gump's mother, stupid is what stupid does. Pause for laugh. So what happens is, I mean, all you have to do is read the HSE website of cases where they've prosecuted or they have an issue ongoing, in some cases where managing directors are in prison for corporate manslaughter. We want to, wherever we can, separate stupid is as stupid does from the human nature to get things done faster. So, I mean, I had a conversation with one of my colleagues the other day. Magnetic switches are terrible things because people lift the guard up, they put something in a machine and they put the guard down, the magnetic switch works, you press a button, and then you can do the next one. You lift the, and that's a bit boring and repetitive. Next one in, press a button. How can I do this faster? I know. I'll tie a piece of string around the handle, loop it through a hook, and get one of those really strong magnets out of an old hard drive. And then I don't need to worry about opening and closing the guard. I can just pull it out and put it in. Guess what that does when they put their hand in? Flat pancake. So in order to prevent against this kind of an issue, we in Germany come up with SafeMaster STS, which is part of a larger family, which I won't go into too much detail, except the second part of my presentation, we'll talk about the wireless bit. So a SafeMaster STS is designed to stop stupid as stupid does from getting in places where they shouldn't be in industry. And well, I say industry generally because there are huge amounts of variation in the type of place where you would use this kind of product. So we have them installed and have had to remove them with grinders where there's been accidents in foundries, not because they stopped working, but because they're covered in aluminium. Robot cells is a fantastic favourite of mine. And this one at the end is in a crusher. So they dump 20 tons of rock in a great big tumble dryer to get aggregate coming out the other side. The reason you need that is to stop stupid as a stupid does from opening the door and sticking their hand inside while there's 20 tons of rock going around in a big tumble dryer. Here are some of the applications. I won't go through them individually, but we have used them in all of these, especially zoos. Unfortunately for zoos, only in Germany. In Germany, the standard for the dangerous animal enclosures uses our STS system, but in the UK, people don't care about zoos. They use padlocks and Loto and other things. So this is what it actually looks like, and I encourage you, if you want to know more about physical safety, we're opposite the doors as well. Paul and my colleague Phil will be out there. We'll be able to show you a big battery-powered turntable with key interchanges. There's actually 3 types. We'll see them in a bit more depth further on in my presentation. It's very highly toughened because some of the environments are terrible. Now, you've all seen rotary safety switches, I would think, the likes of Fortress or Castell. In some of our environments, you can't use those because you have to replace them every 3 months. So if you've got something that's full of swarf or aggregate or really bad brake dust kind of material, where this repetitive motion on and off all day long turns that lock into some kind of one of these things, and it doesn't work anymore. Our product is linear, so it goes in, it comes out. As it goes in, it cleans. As it comes out, it cleans. So you end up with a much better design of product. It's manufactured in the Furtwangen factory. Milled in there, I've seen it myself. That's a bit of a dirty environment. We go there. It's where they made cuckoo clocks. It's where they were invented, up the mountain. I was there with Siemens a while back. We do some train product for them. And we closed the door in the evening after a few beers, woke up in the morning, and there was 2 meters of snow, which was fantastic for me trying to get back to the airport. So you can see there it's got the relevant standards. This is FRP, so I wouldn't recommend hitting that one with a hammer. Although it is jet washable, which you can't say for many people's locks. And here's the one that I was talking about earlier on, which is very tough. The whole system comes with little bits of Meccano, keys, actuators, different type of actuators, electrical switches, command and control. And it is a bit specialised in how we use it and put it together. Mounting plates, by the way, on the bottom there is quite important, because if you're going somewhere that's flexible, we have to weld them to a mounting plate so that they don't move. So I'm just going to fly through these a little bit and give you some examples of how we would use it. Low-tow units as well. So if there's a mixed environment where you need to ensure that the unit definitely doesn't come on, we can do it physically with a control key, which releases a personnel key. The power's off to the system until the user puts his key back in. So he has to be outside of the dangerous area to put his key back in the unit, take a key out, and then press the start button somewhere else. So it can be a pretty complicated bit of kit. We have, in robot cells specifically, a pull wire can be mounted high, low, wherever you want. If the robot comes around and clonks you on the back of the head, you end up lying on the floor, you can pull the wire. We also have this option in a wireless handheld dead man's handle. The same thing, if you let go, it trips it off. If you get a shock and you pull it tight, it will also switch it off. Which is why I'm going to move on to wireless. We've got one of those. It weighs a ton. It's out there as well. This is turn the unit on. You can't take the key out. Turn the unit off. You take the key out. Nobody else can turn the unit on. So if you've got critical area where you've got a lot of people working, you give the shift manager or someone in authority the key, and it's his responsibility to make sure that the product and the circuit is turned off, stays in his pocket until he's accounted for everyone that's in a dangerous position. These are command and control modules which go with it. E-stops, I've closed the door, start the machine again. Pretty much programmable for anything electrical, what you want on and off. But because it can be a bit complicated on trying to work out these massive systems, we have some software which helps us design. This is a gate. This is a gate, you can tell by the actuators. And then this is a control module. So I take my key out of here, I put my key in there, which allows me to close the gates and shut them across. Or vice versa. The amount of configurations we have is huge. You can control everything from a whole production floor down to one particular machine. And how we code it is down to the individual requirement. So, I mean, this is what it actually looks like in real life, not too blurred, and on Paul's kitchen table when he was showing us the demo kit. So this would be the gate over here. I've got a button somewhere. Yeah, this could be the gate, and this would be the unit which sits next to it. And this is an electronic solenoid, on and off, to control whatever circuit you want. So, moving swiftly on, because my 10-minute timer has just gone down, so I've got to move on to wireless now. To my knowledge, there are only 3 manufacturers in the world that can transmit safe signals 800 meters in free air. What that means is, give you a scenario, you expand the business and you put a separate line on. So before, you just used to make something go up and down. Now you've got a conveyor belt, it comes off of that, it goes over here, goes to another machine where you want it to go left and right. The conveyor belt's all right, but you can't stick cables underneath it. You want to control an e-stop for both machines. You can't physically get from one to the other. So we would install a wireless system in control panels at both pieces of equipment. So if you e-stop one, it e-stops the other. If you reset the one you e-stopped, they both start. If you e-stop the one remotely, they both stop. You restart the one remotely, they both start again. It has 8 non-safe inputs. So we use this product on a cruise ship on go-karts. So the 19-year-old Spotty controller had a big case in front of him with 8 buttons and 1 e-stop. These go-karts had kids on them running around the deck of the boat. If there was an issue with one cart, he could press one of his non-safe stops and just stop that one cart. If all of a sudden a 20-foot wave's coming over the bow and he needs to stop everybody, he presses the e-stop and all of the carts stop where they are. I never thought of using that particular kind of technology in that way, but we've used it for ATVs, we've used it to pick up meat, which has been packed, and move it into a refrigerated area, a job that used to be done by a team of 12 guys, now is done by 6 ATVs. And they park the meat ready for being loaded in the loading bay. We have another application where there's hazardous biomedical supplies. Could be radioactive syringes or stuff which is held behind a closed door. These ATVs run around this big warehouse and pick stuff that needs to be going out to hospitals, etc. And the human element in that now just sits with command and control. There's no checking required. It does it all itself. When it's finished, we e-stop the device. If there's a problem, they stay where they are. If there's not a problem, they go back to where they belong and recharge. Paul and I did a project very similar with this technology in a well-known low-end food supplier, not too far from here on the M1. You can't miss it. It's on the left-hand side. Blue and yellow logo. And they hire forklift drivers who don't have a fantastically vast depth of knowledge when it comes to changing batteries. They can drive them backwards and forwards and up and down all day long, but the management didn't want contract forklift drivers to change the battery on their forklift truck. So they drive the forklift in, they come outside of the enclosure, they press a button and there's a machine which takes the battery off the forklift, finds the next best charged one, pulls it off of the forklift, puts it on to replace the flat one. And then all of that is done when they're outside. When the green light comes on, the user can go back in and drive his forklift out. So there's no danger of anyone dropping a half-a-ton battery on their foot. There's no danger of anybody wiring a charging point backwards or using the wrong type of battery with the wrong type of forklift, because it's all automated. And I mean, the presentations we've already seen today, talking about AI and machine learning, the more automation we see in these kind of environments, the more safety we need to override. So it's okay taking people out of the environment, but what happens when they go in? Because what does stupid do? Anyone? Stupid is what stupid does, exactly. You will never ever change the human nature of, I'm just going to go because it's quicker this way. Flat, forklift truck runs you over. So I've got another 5 minutes left. I'm not going to bore you with this stuff, to be honest, because, I mean, it's quite a technical presentation, and it talks about, you know, how I painted the little picture for you from left to right with what the wireless devices, how the two e-stops work together. In this particular installation, we've got an example of a robot cell down there, but the possibilities are endless. With this one, we've got multiple crossovers for various production lines using more than one controller. So we can use these devices pair to pair, or one to many, single way or dual channel, depending on the configuration. But 800 meters is quite a distance for this kind of thing to be done safe. So it's been tested at 800 meters by TUV in Germany. They use them all the time in Germany because they believe in TUV. Just some more examples of safety circuits. There's another forklift. I don't think that one particularly is the machine that I was talking to you about, but we get asked more and more weekly about battery transfer systems because it's identified that forklift drivers shouldn't be able to touch anything that can blow them up. Another example of how they can be used as well with light guards. So, you know, all part of the same safety circuit, they all work in conjunction with. They're not standalone, they are part of the safety system. We've used that picture a lot. You've seen that in adverts, if you've ever seen our adverts in any of the press. Single channel in German, look at that. I forgot that bit. We did one for Tata Steel, one of the plants that's still open, lifting stuff with their magnetic crane to prevent people going into their, what they call the pen, and having large steel tubes dropped on them. You can also integrate them with a safety PLC, and the output, input, safe or not safe, can be part of a larger safety system, just using that as a separated wireless bit. Yeah, very, very large schemes are enabled. I think 64 is the maximum amount of units we can have. But as with anything wireless, we need to make sure. So we always do a frequency scan of the area we're going to put it, make sure that there's no difficulty or cross-contamination with other EMF producing sources to give us the best possible outcome. And in the factory, if we find something, we can just move the frequency that the paired units run to, so it won't affect anything that exists already. These are some of the marketplaces where they're used. So before we go back to Neil, has anybody got any questions for me? No? Not about Forrest Gump or anything? Okay, like I said, so we are over there. There's a good demonstration pod on wireless safety and how we can use that with the dead man's handle, with like crane controls, as well as the full entry cabinet for STS. I've been Ian Holland. Thank you for your time.
Don't know about you, but there's nothing more frightening than a full-size photograph of yourself on the screen. Never mind. There we go, Ian. Thank you very much indeed. We have one more presentation before we break for lunch. And a reminder to you all then that will be an opportunity for further networking and, of course, engagement with the exhibitors until 3:30 today. But ahead of that, we have one more presentation providing us with information regarding the available advice and funding to help the digital transformation of your business. Please welcome digital transformation specialist at Made Smarter, Lucy Cross.
think we're just about on a good afternoon now, actually. So yeah, my name's Lucy Cross and I'm one of 6 digital transformation specialists across the West Midlands team for Made Smarter. Specifically, I focus on the Greater Birmingham and Solihull area. As I say, we cover the Marches, Worcestershire, everywhere. So we will cover you. We're a multidisciplinary team, so my background's actually in business support, ranging from startups to various SME growth support, but we also have specialists within the team that have come from very much an industry background, so a whole breadth of knowledge that we tend to share ideas together. So Made Smarter Adoption launched its West Midlands pilot in 2021, and it was aimed at helping small and medium-sized manufacturing and engineering businesses adopt digital technologies to enhance overall operations. So today I'm just going to explore some of the ways that Made Smarter collaborates with companies to plan for the future, including developing a 3 to 5 year digital transformation roadmap. That forms a great basis for your digital strategy, so something you will need moving forward. We conduct digital skills assessments to understand the strengths of the company's leaders. We facilitate digital exploration and acceleration workshops with technology specialists to ensure the right solutions for the company's various challenges. We offer match-funded grants, up to 50% matched, with a maximum grant of £20,000. We offer leading change through digital transformation workshops for the businesses, and we provide impartial advice and support from digital specialists. Made Smart is a UK-focused programme. It aims to enhance manufacturing through the adoption of engineering technologies. We are committed to supporting the transformation of our businesses for lots of reasons. Some of those include improving the UK productivity and international competitiveness of our manufacturing and engineering companies. So we know that new technologies can boost productivity and efficiency across the manufacturing industry, but it's really important that when we do that, we also maintain those high quality standards we expect from Made in Britain, Made in the UK, and that's really important to us through the technologies. It makes us more attractive to those international markets, and it helps us to grow our export opportunities, which is a big element that we do look at when we're going forward for a grant opportunity, is does this grow those exporting opportunities? We want to create better jobs in the manufacturing sector. So the introduction of new technologies offers opportunities for upskilling current employees, which can improve retention rates and address the skills gap challenges that we all face. Every day when we go into companies, it's the same challenges. Attracting new talent to the industry is the biggest challenge across all regions, and companies that embark on a digital transformation journey are able to provide higher skilled jobs with much more transferable skills. We want to strengthen the UK supply chains and create new value streams. So as part of the government's industrial strategy, a key priority is to develop more resilient supply chains across essential sectors. So automation within businesses can help identify and mitigate risks a little bit more proactively. Automated systems continuously monitor supply chain operations, flagging potential issues before they escalate into major disruptions. Obviously, something over the last few years we couldn't even have begun to imagine the different challenges we're going to face, unprecedented. But, you know, having some sort of automation in place to really monitor that data can help us to just plan a little bit better, perhaps. Digital transformation offers numerous benefits for businesses, many of which today have already been spoken about. It's important to understand the broader impact that the changes make and how each company can contribute to the overall picture. But as a programme, we focus on the immediate effects that digital transformation can have on your business, and we do try and look at that return on investment being as minimal as possible for you. So a couple of examples of how we do that. We might look at implementing sensor technology. So manufacturers can collect performance data from different machinery, providing a clear overview of the operations. This data can be leveraged to enhance efficiency, productivity and quality control. Additionally, the information gathered could facilitate predictive maintenance, enabling better planning and reducing downtime caused by machine breakdowns, hopefully keeping factories operational. I recently went into a company in Birmingham who went through the pilot phase of Made Smarter. They're now on the next stage, so they've implemented some initial technologies. They're now looking at bringing in some robots and cobots into the business, but they were able to pull up on their dashboard during the meeting exactly what machines were running at that time, who was operating them, what any downtime was, why that downtime was there. We had one piece of equipment that had literally gone out of service within the hour we were in that meeting to date, and they were just awaiting motivating the operative to put some reasoning in for that. So it really did show, and we hear about it lots, but to go into a company and say, oh yeah, this is exactly what's happening on the shop floor right now, from a management perspective, was really, really critical to them. So real-time data can accelerate a manufacturer's ability to adapt to those changing customer needs and the market demands. So the information is invaluable for research and development of new and improved products. And furthermore, digital tools such as additive manufacturing or 3D printing can allow for rapid prototyping and testing of ideas before they actually hit the market, as well as enabling mass customisation and the production of end-use parts. So again, with additive manufacturing, do a lot of work in the jewellery quarter. And obviously there's a lot of casting required. It can get quite pricey with the various different very small parts that go into producing a piece of jewellery. But if you can 3D print those, it can be left to run during the night. In the morning, you come in, the casting trees are ready, and off you go with the production of your jewellery. So it really has proven effective. Digital transformation also presents an opportunity to move towards greener manufacturing methods and to help us achieve net zero ambitions. So with digital technology, manufacturers are able to streamline their operations, minimise waste, eliminate inefficiencies, and therefore overall we improve sustainability credentials and we're contributing to that wider UK net zero goal. So I've got just a short case study about a company that actually didn't go for grant funding but found their roadmap really useful. I'm just going to talk you through some of that to put it into real life. So it's a Coventry-based business called Aunties, faced challenges during the pandemic in the wholesale supply of Indian-inspired cooking sauces. They needed to diversify in order to survive, as many of us had to do. They ventured into producing Indian snack boxes, including samosas. They were able to be sold directly to the customers. I don't know about you, but during COVID, we had a lot of food delivery. That was very important. It was the highlight of my day, not just week. So Made Smarter assisted Aunties in enhancing the samosa making process. It significantly boosted the productivity. The demand for snack boxes, particularly the samosas, increased dramatically. But they were finding traditional methods of producing the samosas were inefficient when put into scale. So it was limiting how quickly they could meet the demand and could have proven detrimental to the whole company, as other areas weren't able to operate in the same way. So through the programme, the company received support in evaluating the factory layout and existing processes happening. They utilised the collected data. They were able to identify areas where time was wasted and to determine if new equipment could maybe enhance their efficiency. So not just moving things around, we can look at that, but also how might new equipment improve those efficiencies. They had a digital roadmap produced and it was created to outline the recommended steps for improving their current operations, along with some additional actions to further enhance the business as it expanded. So the roadmap proved invaluable in helping them overcome their challenges, enabling them to boost productivity and improve their bottom line. And as I say, they didn't require any grant support. It was really just that roadmap and their 8 days of support they received. So small and medium-sized enterprises across the West Midlands region, we do operate outside the West Midlands, but it would be done through the main portal. But for our region, can apply easily through the Made Smarter website. Each region has a dedicated digital transformation specialist, so a dedicated me in your area, who will conduct an initial face-to-face assessment on site. And that's to ensure that the eligibility criteria is met and that there's a viable project aligned with the technologies covered in the programme. So the digital technologies empower businesses to collect and analyse data through machines. We heard earlier in the AI presentation how much data we collect within manufacturing, and I've been into numerous businesses that over the years have thought, okay, collection of data is really, really important. I've perhaps got a new system and I'm going to take all of the data I can possibly take. I'm going to store it either in an on-site server or in cloud, and that's where it stays. So we don't really know what we're doing with it. And actually, it would probably take a whole new resource then that I've then got to pay to understand what this data means and how we can use it to drive growth in the business. So while it's really important, one thing we need to understand and that would be achieved through discussions with your Made Smarter advisor would be what data you're collecting or what data you need to collect to drive that growth and what you're going to do with it. And that's a key element, as we saw earlier, lots and lots of data, but it needs to be relevant to us or it can get quite costly. So we are looking at collecting and analysing data through various machining, automating and streamlining processes within companies. And this approach ultimately leads to a faster, more flexible and efficient organisation that can produce higher quality products at a much lower cost. So there's lots of technologies on there. They're all Industry 4.0 technology, and they integrate advancements in artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things, lots and lots of other things. Around 80% of the companies we currently are going into are still requiring quite early stage adoption. So ERPs, MRP systems, some companies literally just getting a CRM put in, because we're still doing a lot on spreadsheets. That is very common. Don't sit there and think, oh, we're not even at that stage. That's really common. It's like 80% of who we go into. It's the highest funded project we look at, because we're just not there. So, you know, a customer will ring up and say, I need to know where my order is, and we have no transparency, we have no visibility across the shop floor. So therefore, you know, so-and-so in the office is going to have to go down and locate where that order is. And if we say, well, where would you even start? Talk us through that process. The answer is generally, well, we just know. We just know where it is because we do it every day. So that's fantastic. But what about if you get growth in orders? How are you just going to know where that order is? So we need to look at saving a little bit of time. But on from that, once that's in place and we've got those systems in place, that's where we're starting to see companies come through now to look at how AI could work within their business. We mentioned earlier about a real fear and trust of what we're looking at. So we've got a company at the moment that I'm working with that is just dipping their toes into the field of AI and seeing what it can do for them. But actually, maybe looking at something like marketing and sales, because they feel there's less risk to apply to that. They have got processes they could maybe input, but they're a little bit nervous about that. But again, it's making sure your security is in place. So as I've just said, lots of businesses register with us without any clear vision of the technologies they want to adopt, but they have specialist knowledge provided and up to 8 days of funded support through the programme, which is available to facilitate exploratory discussions to identify which products would have the most significant impact. So the support also helps businesses to develop a long-term vision with an adequate budget and resource planning. Once the company registers online and receives a diagnostic report from their regional DTS, we would connect them with one of 2 catapults that serve as our delivery partners for the Made Smarter initiative across the Midlands. So we work with MTC and also Warwick Manufacturing Group, and a digital technology specialist would be assigned to the business to provide tailored industrial digital technology advice through a series of one-to-one bespoke workshops. There isn't particular reason why we would connect you with one or the other. Very often it's just around capacity and when you want to move forward. Sometimes though, and a question I would always ask is whether you already have a relationship with either catapult, because if you do, it can just work better to bring that catapult back in again. And then you're actually getting various team support on one project, and that can prove really good to make perhaps a slightly larger project, or even a project you've already got in mind. You're going to go forward with it anyway. You could actually get some funding towards it. So that seems like a win-win situation. So this is just a sample of a digital roadmap that was created for one of the companies I work with. They'd actually got a really long trading history. They've been around for a number of years now. The previous owner, however, did run the business a little bit like a hobby business. There wasn't really the ambition to grow. Not at the pace that the new owner wanted to grow it. So the new owner took over the company around about 12 months ago now, and he's got a really clear ambition to grow the business. He knows where he wants to be. He's got a growth strategy in place. Didn't really have a digital strategy though. So we went in there. They'd got a business model. As I say, they knew where they wanted to go. Policies and procedures were in place. They'd got a very loyal customer base, so they don't have a mass of customers, but those customers they do have are loyal. What they provide, they're probably one of the only manufacturers of it in the UK, so that's a winner for them. They did have an ERP already, which is why there is one named on there. It's just that the one they were already using. There wasn't a desire to change that ERP, and even if it's not working for a company, great, we would probably try and find ways to make it work. We certainly wouldn't come in there as advisors and say, this 100%, it's not really working for you, let's just get rid of it and plough more money into something else. We would try and find ways to make it work. So we recognise that whilst there was definitely a project in place for this company, the initial stage was to actually streamline the management team and processes that the management are actually taking on. So they needed to develop the structure of the business and how that worked. You know, the guy that's took over this company lives in London. He's spending a lot of his time here, but he's also got another company in Sheffield. So this company needs to have a better structure in place. It's not currently running as it needs to. So whereas we would normally expect the Made Smarter project to be right at the very start, we really felt the leadership development and change management was something that should be embedded initially. So we'll work on that for a few months, and then whilst we're in the background, we're looking at how they can really maximise their current ERP system and get the most out of it. One thing they really needed to do, they want to bring AI into the business a lot more. So we had big discussions around what they could potentially do, but in order to use AI in the business, they need to use their system to really gather some comprehensive data. Otherwise, they've got nothing to drive off, really. So a slightly different roadmap maybe than what the standard one is, but I just wanted to show you the types of things that you would get as a business. So this comes as part of, this is just one page out of a slide deck, really. But it's really crucial, and this is what forms part of that planning strategy. So you'll see there's key milestones along the bottom, which shows the growth that they want to achieve year on year. And then as the capability develops, you'll see, you know, if they want to hit 4 million next year, there will have to be some input of new technologies. Otherwise, what they've currently got won't handle it. They just won't be able to do it. So that's what we try and help. It helps with budgeting. It helps if you've got to take it up to director level as well, and look at those budgets. So although they had an ambitious growth strategy, they did need support from the catapults and from ourselves to establish that clear plan with manageable timelines to make sure their chances of success were at the highest they could be. So I'm just going to summarise one more business that did take grant funding. And this is a company who really are going from strength to strength. So even when I've taken the data, they've grown significantly since. They've expanded. They're doing all sorts. But Bridge Cheese is based in Shropshire. It supplies cheese and dairy products to the wholesale, food manufacturing and food service sectors. You see there's a common theme with my case studies. They're all food-based, but you know, I never seem to get them in my area. They were established in 2018 with a team of 5. And since then, the company's grown significantly and they employ over 80 members of staff now. Constantly expanding staff, but also, as I said, premises as well. They've massively grown. So Bridge Cheese joined Made Smarter with a clear objective to improve technology systems. So initially, the company, as I said earlier, as most companies are running off Excel spreadsheets. It really is so common. I mean, I wish I was that good on spreadsheets because some of these are so complex. But due to a lack of maybe focus, but knowledge primarily and time, they found themselves exploring lots of systems that just seemed to promise them so much, but they failed to actually deliver the necessary information for the business. If they'd have continued down some of those routes, those nice shiny routes that were promised, it could have jeopardised the future growth of the business. So we introduced a digital transformation specialist who recognised that while the directors understood the need to update the technology and were fully on board with digital transformation within the company, in order to meet those growing demands of the business, like lots of companies we visit, they did lack the time and resource to conduct thorough research and make those informed decisions. So Bridge Cheese partnered actually with WMG, and they conducted a 2-day assessment to understand the company's requirements. So this involved various meetings with the management team from each department, because it's really important when we go in and talk to your companies that we don't just speak to director level or MD level. It's really important that we speak to all the departments, because what we think is important up here might not be the day-to-day challenge for an ops team manager. And it's interesting to hear, actually, in a perfect world, what would make your job so much better and so much more fulfilling and so much easier as well. So we do speak to managers from across the departments, and that forms their digital roadmap, similar to the one on here. So as a result, the company did go for the full £20,000 grant. That supported the purchase of a digital enterprise management system and also some investment in food manufacturing software systems. So the support they received empowered the company to ask vendors the right questions and identify a functional system tailored to their needs. So if a system integration is likely to happen, one thing you will do is a bit of a needs analysis with your advisor. And I've sat in on a couple of those, and it's really made me think outside of the box of what the questions I would normally be asking a vendor if it was my company. So they're really important, and it makes the vendors really think as well. You get a real bespoke, tailored demo then, which is probably great for a vendor, because actually what else do you go in with? You're just picking out of thin air. What can I offer this company? Well, let me give you a sample order and show me what we can do with it. So we encourage the companies to do that, and we support with that. So while the company valued the grant support, they did consider the roadmap produced to be of even greater importance. And it was noted that at the time we did the case study, so they've grown even more since, they doubled their number of customers across the UK. And with the new system and improved stock control, they freed up £1.5 million in cash flow from working capital. And the programme enabled the business to operate a lot more flexibly, avoiding over-purchasing and enhancing the dispatch and delivery performance. The support allowed the directors to focus their time on growing the business. The number of times I go in and the director is literally still on shop floor trying to just manage the operations, because that's what we have to do in an SME very often. But these systems will really alleviate some of those pressures. And the new technology is in use fully now across the warehouse, production and planning departments. So before involvement with Made Smarter, they manufactured 162,000 kilograms of cheese a week. Now it's increased far beyond 217,000 kilograms each week. So we can really see an enhancement there. So support's provided to complete a grant application if the funding is required. We will help you with that. And also we would ask you to nominate a digital champion. So the digital champion must attend a leading change course, and that's to ensure the implementation process is supported and has the best chance of success. That's actually new from last year for us, because prior to us making it a compulsory to attend course, it was optional, and we found that actually companies that are putting new system integration into a company really needed support during that time. The implementation's the hardest bit. Getting the grant's quite straightforward, but actually implementing and embedding it across the business is really, really challenging. You have to have the right culture. It's a whole culture change. So it is now a compulsory part of the programme. So we run group sessions with blended delivery to provide an opportunity for the digital champion to connect with other companies that are undergoing a similar implementation journey. So by offering a combination of face-to-face and virtual learning, we've worked diligently to minimise the time taken away from the business. We recognise the disruption and challenges any new project can create, and we don't want to make it harder for you. So the course is delivered in partnership with Made Smarter and Coventry University, and is designed to equip you with the skills needed to transform your business. It focuses on enhancing value creation, creating efficiencies, and engaging your employees to achieve better results. We've found over the years in various peer networking programmes, but it has been proven to be really beneficial for businesses, allowing them to share their best practices and support each other in overcoming challenges specific to the sector. Made Smarter West Midlands has seen so far over 832 companies register for the programme. That was up until Tuesday, so that's quite specific. We've awarded over 167 grants to date, 42 of which this financial year alone. And we will be looking at going over that. We'll go over our registration allocation, because the demand is there and we're seeing the benefits come through. So thank you for listening today. I've scathed off 5 minutes, so you might get a slightly early dinner. But if you do have any queries about how we might be able to support you, even if you have no clue what your company needs, if you might be at the very early stages of doing everything on paper with job cards and all of that, that's fine, all the way through to actually you think you're quite hot in your digital transformation and your readiness levels are quite high, just come and speak to us. We're only outside by the door, and it won't do any harm for us to come in. It's all government funded. You might as well take the support that's there for you. But thank you for listening today.
Fantastic, Lucy. Thank you so much. Well, we've nearly reached the conclusion of the formal timetabled part of manufacturing technology today. We've heard today then from 4 presenters, including the MTC's own Mustafa Sir, who walked us through the transformative power of AI in manufacturing. Jonathan from Cyber Agility, who invited us to consider mitigating the risks of cyber attacks by thinking like a threat actor, identifying them, reducing the attack surface, and using cybersecurity as an enabler for your business. Ian from Dold pointed out that stupid is as stupid does when it comes to physical and wireless security. And then we can also consider smarter ways, therefore, to reduce and indeed negate that risk. And just now, of course, Lucy has pointed out from Made Smarter that the advantages of digital transformation for your business are absolutely manifold. And the resources are there and available for you to assist you with that as well. Along with digital transformation, as I mentioned in my introduction this morning, collaboration and innovation are the key. And as such, I do encourage, indeed urge you to network with your peers and the exhibitors outside over lunch, and indeed until 3:30 this afternoon. Lunch is about to be served, but ahead of that, I'd just like to thank again our event sponsors, including Dold Industries, Agility Cyber, Made Smarter, and many others. And of course, to our media supporters and indeed our association partners as well. So thank you to all of them for their support today. Now, if you did enjoy today, you may be interested in the next large free to attend events coming up here at the MTC, including, as you can see, the National Manufacturing Summit, taking place in just over a month on the 27th of February, and the 2-day event, Robotics and Automation, Powering Your Future, on the 17th and 18th of June. More information on these is available, of course, on the MTC Events website and indeed on digital signage around the venue today as well. For now, thank you so much for your attention today. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Meanwhile, from all of us to all of you, thank you so much. Good afternoon.
As if with the things you say, messing up